family at Xpress Boats has always strived to be the best. And now they're trying to help their customers be even better at what they do. And that's what I think is so cool about this series called Xpress Outdoors, is the fact that it relates to X's and O's. And how can you strategize to be the best you can be when you're out on the water enjoying the outdoor experience. Whether we're on Kentucky Lake or down in South Louisiana here at Gros Savon, or even in Arkansas chasing mallards in the timber, join us for the Xpress Outdoors experience. So there's Jake the World Traveler, there's Jake the Outdoor Cameraman, now there's Jake the Outfitter. Why don't you tell me about Prairie Rock Outfitters?
Yeah, so I've been a guide on the North Platte River for almost 30 years. I used to have a little one-man show years ago for 10 years, a little further east of Prairie Rock, which is located in Broadwater, Nebraska. But about 6 years ago, an outfitter named Ryan Livingston, who was the founder of Prairie Rock, he contacted me and asked me if I could help him promote his business. So I came in and started filming turkey hunts, and we did some duck hunts. We brought RNT in, did some duck hunts with them for the television show, and things started to build at Prairie Rock because the resources are unbelievable. I mean, it's like 350,000 acres and 30 miles of river bottom at the time. And so Ryan started getting too busy for as a one-man show. It's just too busy. So he contacted me and asked me if I could come in and help him out. And I said, sure, let's work something out. So I bought in to the business, half owner, and that was 4 years ago. And since then we've continued to create content and shoot video, and we've hired some really good help. We've got a general manager there named Ross Juliffs, who's been a guide for many years, and a kid named Brandon Feen, who's a phenomenal photographer and a video producer himself. So now as a four-man team, we work together to publish content and bring Prairie Rock to life on social media.
Town Pump, what is that? Tell me about the Town Pump.
Wow, the Town Pump. Town Pump is one of the oldest bars in Colorado. It's the oldest bar in Fort Collins, Colorado. And I've been working there for 31 years. And 22 years ago, the guy that owned it decided he wanted to get out of the bar business. So he and I worked out a deal. I had been the longest continuously running employee at the time, so he wanted to hand me the torch. And the Town Pump was established in 1909, so it's well over 100 years old. It's almost 113 years old to be exact, and it's just something that I love. I don't talk a lot about the Town Pump, but it's my primary business, and it's something that I truly love. It's very small and intimate. It's like something you'd see in a Clint Eastwood movie.
So, just recently the whole world was hit with COVID and all that. You've actually got an interesting story because there was some Facebook things going on there that helped kind of save you. Tell us a little bit about what happened during COVID.
Yeah, so when COVID hit, in March, I was actually in Africa when everything, started to hit the fan. And we flew back from Chad, Africa, on March the 11th. And on March the 16th, the whole country went into lockdown mode. And so in Colorado, the bars were shut down for 60 straight days, exclusively, not knowing what was going to happen. I mean, it was panic mode. There was a lot of people affected by this. higher levels and lower levels than what we were affected by at the town pump. But from a microcosm perspective, the bar industry was at the bottom of the totem pole. There was no essential business, labeled on the bars and restaurants. So we were all locked down with our handcuffed to the railing. And so I damn near went out of business. We had no revenue. We were allowed to sell curbside, but that was pretty much zero. I mean, there were people that jumped in to help out, and they were, trying to spend money there as much as they could to support us. But truly, we just couldn't generate enough revenue with the doors locked. We couldn't survive. I was spending money out of pocket to pay for my payroll. I had to buy new equipment to get us up to speed with the COVID restrictions, and it all came out of pocket. So at some point, around February of 2021, I was at the end of my financial line. I was just about ready to claim bankruptcy because I had accumulated a debt, payroll, license renewals, inventory that we had to buy to keep the bar stocked for what we could sell. And I was so far behind, I knew that the revenue that we were going to generate would not make the payment at the end of that month. I mean, I was down in a hole. So my sister Renee helped me start a GoFundMe account, and I thought, well, I've never asked for money, never asked for a handout in my life, but I thought these were desperate measures, desperate times, and I had to do something. So she helped me from March 1st to what I thought would be a reopen June 1st, because once the summer hit, I knew at least we'd have patio space, and they were going to start to loosen up some of the restrictions because people were going out of business left and right. And so it did buy us that time to get there, and sure enough, in mid-May of 2021, they reopened and loosened the restrictions up, and then business went haywire. And a lot of that business came from the publicity that we got from what happened in that GoFundMe. And it wasn't me at all. It wasn't me. It was the people, the customers, and the support from all over the country that came pouring in to save the town pump.
Yeah, a lot of people say, what's the big deal, so you have to close your doors, but you had the burden on your shoulders. This thing hasn't closed since the early 1900s.
Yeah,
This would have been the first time in history.
It survived the Spanish flu, it survived the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, World War I, World War II, all those things that fell in line in American history. The town pump had gone through it, and quite frankly, initially when it all locked down, I said, we'll be fine. We've survived all these things. But I didn't take into account that perhaps during those valleys between peaks of business in American history, that those owners had to do something desperate as well. I know during Prohibition, they were bootlegging whiskey out of the basement. I mean, that was incriminating, but they had to do it to survive Prohibition, and they did. So, we were creative in a lot of things that we did, and I mean, it was an emotional time for me because I did not want to be responsible for having to close the doors forever on the town pump, which had been in existence for 112 years at that point. So, whatever it was, the grace of God, or just the support from all the loyal customers that have come in over the years at the town pump, literally saved the day for us. So I'm very grateful for that.
Great story. Got one more hunt in the morning. Still got a few more things to learn about Jake Latendresse, so it's going to be a good thing. You going to be ready?
Looking forward to it.